Hello. I am now taking the risen cinnamon rolls, and see how all those tiny little rolls have mushed together, not mushed together, but puffed up. And I'm going to set my oven for 350, not convection. And while the oven is heating, oh, by the way, the tray is in the middle tray for cinnamon rolls. For a 2-pound loaf, I put it one lower because they get really tall. So while that is preheating, I'm going to plop these down over here, and I'm going to make my egg wash. 1 egg, little bowl, or I just use the measuring cup. It's just, I like it. So I'm gonna, and I just put the shells right in the trash because my husband doesn't let me put them in the garbage disposal. Have the water on cold, and I don't measure. I think some people say 1 tablespoon for 1 egg. I'm just kind of, I do that. And it works, and it doesn't really matter too much. You just don't want it completely watered down. So I'm gonna beat the egg. I always use a silicone brush because when I was using the bristled brush, I was deflating my bread because the bristles were too hard on the dough. Silicone brush, some people just dip a piece of paper towel in and spread it that way. And you just kind of, I don't brush so much as pat. So I am just making sure that I get egg wash on here because it helps give them that beautiful golden brown color. And that is it. You can see that I'm on another piece of dough there, making my 3rd round. I'm just putting my egg wash in the refrigerator for now. These are ready to go in the oven. Now there's a couple of choices that you could do. If you want, you could sprinkle more cinnamon sugar. If you want, you could sprinkle turbinado sugar, which, in case you don't know, it's also called sugar in the raw. And it looks like that. And it is crunchy, so it gives it a little crunch. You could do that. I recently discovered something else that's kind of fun. These are Swedish sugar pearls. Sorry for the slamming of the cupboard. My husband cringes. Swedish pearl sugar. I got these on Amazon. I'll show you what they look like. And the fun thing about these is they don't melt, so they keep their shape. So I think, just for fun, I'm gonna do this because I think it will look pretty. And they will also be crunchy. It almost looks like I'm putting kosher salt on there, but it's definitely sugar. When we went to the south of France a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, we took a cooking class and we made a little, like a cream puff dessert, and they had these things. I'm like, ooh, I want these for my baking. And there's no such thing as too much sugar. So these are ready to bake. I bake them for usually between 25 and 30 minutes on 350 degrees. And the last video will be showing you what they look like when they come out. Okay. So the first batch that I made for you to show you is in the oven baking. That's the one with the pearls on top. This is my 3rd batch. I'm a busy girl today because I'm making these to give to people for their Easter breakfasts. And you're going to see that some of my rolls are smaller and some are bigger. I'm just going to say these are homemade. I am not a machine, and I am anything but good at precision. Now I'm going to call out a bread friend, my friend Luann Longobardi, who will watch this and go, oh my God, she said my name. She is incredibly artistic and precise, and her rolls are all uniform, and I am so envious of her. I am just not that talented. So kudos to you, Luann. but at least mine look very homemade. Not that hers don't look homemade. Hers are all gorgeous, but mine are a little more homemade looking, I think, than hers, because I'm just not that good. I'm not going to sit here with a measuring tape or a ruler or weigh them or anything. I just do my best, and I think they look beautiful no matter what. So whether you're precision oriented like Luann or quick and a little less careful like me, your rolls are going to look scrumptious and delicious, and they will be scrumptious and delicious for everyone to enjoy. This is my third batch, but the first batch, the one I made in front of you, is baking now. I just wanted to show you that these were the rolls that I cut, obviously bigger. And there's my little extras mini pie plate full. So these are about to bake. Yay. Oh. Hello. My husband was making me laugh just before he pressed the start button on the video. I won't tell you how he made me laugh. So he's going to zoom in on these rolls. This is the batch I made for you. And you can see that even though they looked so small and so skinny, they puffed up. And I know that there's a lot of depth variation. I kind of think it looks delicious that way. In fact, right now, more than anything, I want to go right here, this thing right in the middle, and grab it and eat it right now. I'm not going to do it, but I really want to. So if yours looks like it's doing the wave, it's okay. It looks delicious. I'm going to show you how to do the glaze. Now, you cannot do the glaze until these are out of the oven, but you should be ready because it's better if they're hot. The glaze is powdered sugar, and I'm not measuring it all. I think it's probably for one tray of cinnamon rolls about, I don't know, a cup and a half, 2 cups-ish. I'm gonna put in a splash of vanilla. Please only buy pure vanilla extract. Doesn't need to be this brand. I'm not advertising anything. I'm even turning the label, but don't use artificial vanilla extract. A little splash of that, maybe a spoonful, who knows. And then milk. You can use non-fat milk, whole fat milk, 2% milk, lactate milk. You could use half and half. You could even, if you didn't have any milk, use some water. It's really not super important. It's just the liquid. You really probably could just use water if you wanted. And you just kind of stir it, and you just want it to be thick enough but thin enough to drizzle. I'm going to put in a splash. You cannot make this ahead of time because it turns to cement. So you notice I put it in a Pyrex measuring cup so I can pour. So I'm just going to go drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Now I know the question you might have in your mind is, well, is this frosting? It's not frosting. It's not a cream cheese frosting like is very popular. It's a glaze. This happens to be my personal preference. Oh, make things fly there for a minute. It's just my personal preference to have a glaze because to me, putting a thick blanket of frosting is too much. It's just too sweet, too goopy, too whatever. And I will tell you that the biggest compliment I get about my cinnamon rolls, and this is the truth, I promise, is thank you for not putting a thick frosting on the cinnamon rolls. When people do that or when I buy it at a bakery, it's just always too sweet and I scrape it off. So this is what I do. I also personally hate cream cheese. Blech, sour. It's gross to me, so I know that's weird. I don't like cream cheese. I don't like a whole lot of foods. This is what I do. You are welcome to look up a recipe for cream cheese frosting or buttercream frosting or cinnamon roll, whatever you want to do, that's up to you. This is what I do and everybody likes it. That's it. So this is the second batch that I told you about where I cut them bigger. And you can see the difference. These are baked, except for I slightly underbaked them so that I can put them in the freezer. And then on Saturday night, I'm gonna take them out, defrost them on the counter overnight, heat them up the rest of, well, I should say bake them the rest of the way, glaze them, and deliver them for 2 friends' Easter breakfast. So there's the difference. There's the smaller ones and there's the bigger ones. The bigger ones might look prettier, but they will serve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 people. You could put this out, and since they're small, it would in a way serve more people because not everybody wants a big one. It's just a personal choice. All right, this is the last video, or the last part of this series, and then I'm gonna stitch them together. This is the first batch I made with you all the way through. This is the second batch of the bigger ones that I made. And this is the next one that I made that are a little bit bigger than the first batch, but not as big as the second batch. They look slightly more uniform, but they still have some wave to them, I guess. You can see the color. These are much more darker and more brown, and these are the ones that I glazed. These have not been glazed, and they're ever so slightly underbaked. I'm gonna wrap them up, I'm gonna freeze them, and then Saturday night, I'm gonna leave them to defrost on the counter the night before, put them in the oven to finish browning, glaze them, and deliver them. I hope you enjoyed this cinnamon roll adventure with me. Bye-bye.